Welcome to Girl You Look a Mess, where we heal out loud and we look good while doing it. On this podcast, we go on a journey of transforming not just our outward appearance, but our entire selves. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Hey, Bray, I got you.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about.
Yeah. Life tried to knock me down, but I ain't going without the fight. Heavy on that self-love, cause now I see my future bright. Building up my confidence and leaning on the God within. Girl, you look a mess now, but this ain't how your story ends. If you up for the challenge, then say you ready. And you are now tuned into the Brazilian bestie. Brea.
On today's episode of Girl You Look a Mess, girl, you look a mess because you missed all the red flags, period. Today's episode is going to be a straight crash out episode. Like, I kid you not. I am in such a kind of mood right now. Let me tell y'all why. I had this episode recorded already, but then in like the hustle bustle of life and packing and shifting and moving and shaking and grooving, I freaking misplaced my SD card. Like, lost the SD card, so did not have the actual footage to upload, to edit and upload. So I was just like, you know what? This is why I missed last week. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna record it, but then, or re-record it. But then I freaking lost my voice. Like, I'm just now getting my voice back, and I'm still feeling like a little in my system, but I sound so much better than I did last week. I literally had no voice to even record the freaking episode. So, and then today has just been hectic. So we're going to do a little self-care, and we're going to talk about red flags. Before we get into it though, I'll let y'all know what I'm using. The cleanser that I'm using right now is the Honey Brightening Cleanser. I'll be using, of course, my glycolic cleanser because that's my absolute favorite. Today's mask will be the Goji Berry Yogurt Mask and Coconut Papaya Enzyme. I believe these are the same products I used last time. And then we have the Mandelic Brightening Serum, my Cucumber Toner, Refining Toner. I can't talk. Cucumber Refining Toner, and my Black Girl Sunscreen. So, same old. Y'all, of course, we always start with a little definition. So, the definition of a red flag is a sign of danger or potential problems, specifically related to a relationship, and it could be related to anything. And why are these towels so hot? My God, I got this little steamer, and I'll link it down below, but it gets the towel so hot. Like, child, burn my face off. Back to it. Red flags. If I had $1 for every red flag that I missed, like in my past, in any relationship, like in friendships, romantic relationships, workplace relationships, child, I'll be rich. I will be a rich bitch, okay? Red flags now is so important to me, and I am still healing from like so many different kinds of relationships, but they are so important to me. And like now where I'm at in my healing journey, I think I am so like, what's open isn't the word. Like, I can identify red flags from a mile away. Like, I don't want to get carried away because you got some sneaky ones out there, but I'm so much better at identifying red flags now that at the sign of the first red flag, I'd be like, child, get the heck on. Please get out of my face immediately. Get on. But some of the red flags, I think it is super, super important that you pay attention to is how you feel. Like, how do you feel? How do you initially feel before you try to talk yourself out of or into a situation? How does your body feel about a person, a place? Because sometimes, child, I'll be getting red flags about places. Like, my body just does not feel comfortable in certain places, spaces, or around certain people. Like, Listen to your gut. People say, I've heard it before, I don't even know like where this came from, but like the women's intuition will tell you everything that you need to know. And the older I get, the more I listen to my intuition. And when I tell y'all, for the past like 3-4 years, those first 2 years of like my healing journey, I still was iffy about my intuition. Like, girl, I don't know if I could trust you. But slowly but surely, I started to trust myself over and over. Like, pay attention to how you feel. And every time that I paid attention to it and I listened to her, I was right. Especially consistently in the past 2 years about like every situation in my life when it comes to family, friends, exes, everything. Like, when my body says, or when I get that gut feeling about something, like, girl, this ain't right, or this is what it really is, and they're trying to portray that is something else, I be right.
Right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I could have been right. So I'm still right because I could have been wrong.
That makes sense.
Right. Like, I be right. So first and foremost, listen to yourself. Another red flag is like, this is especially for relationships. Really, the next two are especially for relationships. When you get into a relationship, do you automatically jump into the fixer role? Like, immediately when you meet somebody, they're telling you all of their problems and, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have my own place to stay, I don't have my own car. So now you're trying to figure out how to get this person a car, and you're trying to figure out how to get this person someplace to live, or you're moving them in with you, or like you're just trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho. Red flag. Flag on the play. That's a red flag, because I understand building with somebody. Child, at this big age, y'all, I don't even have my mirror today. I am going to use the camera as my mirror because I don't have it. I gotta get it. Hold on. Pause. I gotta go get my mirror. I'm back and I got my mirror. There are just certain things that I come to the relationship with, and it is my expectation that you have the same things. Like, if I'm coming to the relationship and I have my own apartment, my own house, my own car, I have a job, I, got some motion. I got some movement, just the basic things that you need as an adult to survive, to get around. If I have those things and you don't, it's like, as a, I'm not like talking down on you or looking down on you because you don't have those things. And as a friend, I can help like guide you and direct you, but I am not about to jump through hoops to help you get those things. Like, you have to want to help yourself first. Like, what are you doing to get yourself out of that situation? Or are you looking for a savior? Because it's not me. Like, I don't mind now. I do not mind helping to guide someone in a direction of something that I have done, I'm doing, something that I have accomplished. But if you're not even trying to help yourself, why am I trying to help you get your license back? And you're not even trying to help you get your license back. Why am I trying to help you get a place to stay, but you're cool with couch hopping? Like, it's not bothering you. Why am I doing that? Why? Red flag. Flag on the mother freaking play. Because, child, no. Huge red flags. Because when you do that, again, I said in the last episode was about taking accountability. So if you have not watched that one, go watch that one. Go watch that one first, because it literally begins with you. Your healing process begins with you and taking accountability of the things that you allowed and the things that you did. So we got to take accountability of all the red flags that you missed or you chose to ignore. Because your body, when you go through things like that, your body, at least my body, I'm gonna speak for myself, my body screaming at me, child, this enzyme is burning. This is the coconut papaya enzyme, and I did not cut it. Usually I cut it with the goji berry mask, and I didn't today. And woo, it is burning. I might not be able to leave this on as long. And I also haven't been taking care of my skin either. So my skin barrier is probably like, what the heck is going on? What was I saying? I done lost my train of thought because this is burning my upper lip. Oh, you have to take accountability of, you know, the choices that's what I was saying. When I was going through certain situations, like my body was literally screaming at me, telling me, don't do this, don't do that, don't choose don't move that nigga in your house. Like, don't do it. Don't buy that man groceries. Don't buy that man this. Don't buy that man them shoes. Don't let that man drive your car. Like, screaming at me. And here I am, ignoring the red flags, suppressing. Like, no, you're wrong. Literally gaslighting myself, telling myself, you can't trust you because these are your goals. This is what you want to do. And here is somebody that you can build with. Like, child, please. Red flag. And lastly, I'm going to say a red flag is pay attention. Please pay attention to a person's habits. Pay attention to a person's habits before you go jumping full force, head first into a situation. Pay attention to a person's habits. Like, pay attention to people's little habits, because something in the beginning, like when y'all first get cool or whatever, you may not think is a big deal. But as time goes on, it can become like detrimental to your well-being, to your relationships. Pay attention to like their daily habits, their hygiene habits. Like, pay attention to them smoking and drinking. Like, when you smoke and you drink, do you flip the hell out? Like, do you be trying to fight people? Do you spaz out? Like, pay attention to that, because in the very beginning, it may seem like, oh, we had a wild night. You was wild as heck. You was tripping out. But then no, as the relationship progresses, that could really cause some issues in a serious relationship, a serious friendship, anything like that. So how you pay attention to their habits in the beginning, you wouldn't even be in that predicament. So y'all, red flags is literally, or I always look like Santa Claus when I put this on. Red flags are literally our body's way of keeping us safe. I want y'all to like put it in the comments a time when you ignored a red flag and it like cost you something. Like, you knew that you wasn't supposed to do X, Y, and Z, but you did it anyway, and then you had to like pay the consequence for it. I want to hear I want to hear the stories, because child, that is one thing. I am getting this in my braids. That is one thing I'm just not willing to do anymore. And I'm not saying that like it is going to prevent any and all mistakes or life lessons or anything like that, but it could definitely save you some heartache, some money, some heartbreak, all kinds of stuff, especially when your body is screaming. I'm talking screaming at you, and you know, like in your core, like, don't give your crackhead uncle $200. You're not gonna get the $200 back, and you know that, but you give him the $200 anyway, and then you are sad because now your lights are caught off because you thought crackhead Johnny uncle was gonna give you the money back. Like, girl, you ignored the red flags. Uncle Johnny ain't paid nobody back in 10 years. And here you are giving them your light bill money. Like, child, please. Over time, I've just learned to ask myself before I jump headfirst into any kind of situation. I have learned to like take a step back and evaluate people. Like, does this person line up? Like, what they say to me, does what they say line up with what they do? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, I'm not a cut you off kind of girl. Like, I'm not, but I will keep my distance. My camera keeps saying the battery temperature is too high or something like that. It keeps cutting off. But I am not a girl that like will cut you off, but I will keep my distance once I like see how you move and groove, how you have the capability of moving and grooving. I will keep my distance and like put you in a little box where like we can still talk, cool, kick it, whatever. Or not really kick it, but I'm gonna be cordial with you, but you over here in this box, and I know not to let you too close to me. So it's just like, do what you say. Does that line up with the things that you do? Are you all talk and no like action? You just talk a good game. Like, yeah, it sound good, but you're not really about what you say. That's what I've learned like over the years. You can once you identify the red, or that's how I identify like the red flags. If you tell me that you want to start a business and you keep talking about starting a business, but you ain't formed that LLC yet, or you haven't taken the first step to like really have a business, I'm not taking you serious. Or if you're a man and you're like, oh yeah, I want to do X, Y, and Z for you, or I'm going to do whatever. I'm a gentleman, but you want to call me late at night and talk about sex? No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good on you, sweetheart. I'm not going to be rude to you. I ain't got to treat you mean, but you just in a certain category of somebody that I'm not going to be with, somebody I'm not going to deal with, you know, in that capacity. Also, another thing that I like to ask myself when I'm around people old and new is, do I feel respected or valued around them? And what does respect and value mean to me? Like, I know what it means to me, but y'all need to know what it means for y'all. But I ask myself that, like, do I feel respected and valued by this person? And if the answer is no, then you got to go. Or I'm just not going to do it with you in a close-knit capacity. Like, I don't have the time anymore in my life or the space to be disrespected. Like, I don't have it to do. I don't. And when I think back of like why I feel like I chose to overlook the red flags, where is my moisturizer? Oh, here it is. When I think about why I felt the need to like overlook those red flags, bro, I said it in the last episode. Like, it makes me so sad thinking about that girl that I was, because I was literally operating out of a place of desperation. Like, wanted so badly to have a connection with a friend or a family member or whatever romantic partner, that I was willing to overlook all of the red flags, even though they were detrimental to me, overlook all the red flags just to feel that sense of belonging and not to feel lonely or by myself, like just to feel like I belonged, because I wanted to avoid that feeling of loneliness so freaking bad, especially when it comes to family. Like, I didn't want to break the bond that I had with the person, but it's like, what kind of bond do you have if the bond is fake? Like, if you can't really be your real self in fear of losing that person, that you have to ignore their red flags, what kind of bond is that? That ain't no real bond. Like, why would you even want that kind of relationship? That's very sad. Like, when you think about it, that's so sad. If you don't remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Don't waste time waiting for a red flag to turn green, because baby, you're gonna be waiting your whole life waiting for a red flag to turn green. And before we close out, I want to leave you with 3 affirmations as usual. Number 1, I am worthy of relationships that respect my boundaries. Number 2, I trust my intuition and I recognize signs that protect my peace. Number 3, I am strong enough to walk away from any person or situation that does not serve me. In next week's episode, we are going to discuss boundaries, because they are important in any and every relationship that you have. Until then, take care of yourself.